Hello and welcome on in to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Rich Reynolds, and as always, a great show planned for you today. Lots of topics to cover, lots of interesting guests, including our first two guests, as we actually have Charles and Billie. They're here from Wisconsin Martial Arts and Fitness Centers. So welcome on in, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, nice to have you back. And I know it's been a while for you guys, but good to have you back on the program. Tell us, if you could, about your brand new center that you got going on.
Yeah, we are very proud of our new brand. Wisconsin Martial Arts and Fitness Center stands for a group of people, a diverse group of people that are very dedicated to the community, sense of just teaching. We love our students, we love our community, and we've just dedicated our, the past probably between us, just a lot of years of hard work and just wanting to bring something, fresh and new, to Madison. And we have a wonderful group of instructors that have helped us, over the past several months put this brand together, and we're very happy with what we have, and it's unique. It's a wonderful blend of traditional martial arts, fitness, and things like that. So
and
pretty
three
happy
different
about that.
centers too right now. So, and you could kind of follow along in the bottom third right here if you could, as far as addresses, phone numbers, stuff like that. But it seems like you got the city kind of covered too, which is nice. Also seems like you guys offer a whole bunch of programs. So let's talk about some of those if we could, because there's some martial arts, fitness, self-defense, bully prevention, women's empowerment programs. Can we talk a little bit about the programs that you guys offer?
Absolutely. Well, both Mr. Dean and I have multiple black belts in different traditional systems. We're also both certified personal trainers.
Okay.
So we've taken that stuff and really incorporated it into our regular classes where there's traditional martial arts training, self-defense, as well as fitness components that are, tangible and trackable within the programs. Where we've really found our strength and where we've really found our niche is taking that stuff out into the community, doing our bully prevention, doing our women's empowerment and self-defense training. We work with a lot of different nonprofit agencies throughout the state of Wisconsin, and we work with everybody from them to different corporate companies and things like that. And having us there, it really brings a unique spark to any event because we're interactive, we have people up and moving, and people seem to really enjoy that and take something strong from it.
Well, you say bully, and bully's a bit of a buzzword, I think nowadays. What exactly is bully prevention, if you could expound on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like Mr. Dean mentioned, what we do is we give a unique set of information to people, try to have kids feel good about themselves so that they can make positive choices in their lives. The more kids we have doing that, they're better citizens, and that makes a better community.
If I can piggyback off of that really quick also, one of the things that we really like to share with the kids is, you don't have to be the best, the best athlete, you don't have to be the superstar, you don't have to be the most popular, kid to do it. A lot of our leaders have been found in people who are introverts and, people who are very shy. So, our program, again, is unique in that we love bringing people, from all walks of life into our business and putting them on that pedestal and letting them know that they can attain anything. So.
Absolutely. You got some seminars coming up here, not this week, but the next week. Tell us a little bit, if you could, about the seminars you have.
Yeah, June 4th and 5th, we're going to be hosting at our 1117 North Sherman Avenue location, and that we're going to have a full day of events. It's going to kick off with a great family hour at about 9 o'clock. Which it's going to just give the opportunity for a lot of the parents to work with their kids and, for the community to meet all of our team of wonderful instructors and have the opportunity to work with us and see firsthand what we have to offer, with our program.
Very nice. And a black belt graduation coming up too, I heard?
Yeah, so Rich, you mentioned that we have 3 locations here in Madison. We have 8 locations throughout Wisconsin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And from our 8 locations, we have over 30 people getting black belts on the 18th.
Oh, cool.
So this is going to be a really special event for our organization. Everybody's friends and family are welcome. There's going to be a demonstration that day, and it's just going to be a really great day. So we definitely would like people from the community to come on by and see what we're about.
This is also exciting too, a re-grand opening. So what are the details for the re-grand opening?
Yeah, so on June 11th, we're going to be just opening up our doors to the community for a couple hours. We think like from noon until about 2 o'clock. During that time, we'll have self-defense stations set up in which, again, people can operate firsthand and see, the things that we have to offer. There's going to be snacks provided. Again, just a couple hours. We don't want to take up the whole entire day, but we definitely want to give people a really good sense of what we have to offer, and for adults, for kids to come on in and and have that opportunity to work with us, directly.
Sounds like a great way to get in shape, be empowered, feel good about yourself. So gentlemen, thanks for joining us here. We'll have more Talk of the Town right after this on Channel 57. Back on Talk of the Town, and always good to have a familiar face here as we have Greg Gion, who's back from Medical Art Prosthetics. And Greg, welcome on back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
good to be back.
Yeah, always love having you on because it's always such interesting stuff. The pictures always tell 1,000 words as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about the specialty of facial and somatic prosthetics. So what are somatic prosthetics?
Right. We've talked about facial prosthetics, and just to bring the two together, I'm going to show you some quick examples of facial prosthetics are, as we've shown before, nasal, orbital, and auricular prosthetics. So this would be an example of a nasal prosthesis. This would be an example of an ear prosthesis. These things, go on the patient, come off. They're not permanent. And then the orbital prosthesis would be an artificial eye with the surrounding tissue. Somatic prosthetics, which we'll talk about today a little bit, are those parts of the body that can be restored with prosthetics, including the hands, feet. Sometimes breasts are included in somatic prosthetics. It's kind of a general, all-body, all-inclusive for all those parts of the body that need to be restored.
Okay, so we're talking extremities then, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
I think for my specialty, silicone somatic prosthetics, we're talking about hands and feet.
Okay.
And I think the important thing to remember is that these are the visible parts of the body that people see in the public. So when they're to be restored, sure, we want them to be functional, but the real priority is that they look natural. So I think what we'll do is look at some photographs rather quickly.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'll blast through these really quickly so that we can get an idea what these are. So example number one here is a amputation of part of the hand. So we call this a partial hand prosthesis. So this is a silicone restoration. The person would slip on. She could go about her business and blend in.
So it looks like it almost goes all the way up to the wrist then?
It does, exactly. This is an example of just an individual finger prosthesis, and I think in this case I just added a before and after. So this is the prosthesis itself, and there she is wearing a prosthesis in place. So the idea is that if you're not looking for these on a person, you're not going to notice it.
Right. Well, they end up looking so natural. I guess so much of it, too, is how much you have to focus on the color of it and getting the skin tone right and texture, yeah.
And so we even get into the full hand prosthesis where there's been an amputation at the wrist.
Okay.
And this is a much larger thing, but I actually work at the university where we can scan and mill a 3D, a mirror image, so we can use the hand, the unaffected hand, as a model, mirror image it, and then create a prosthesis that's almost a perfect mirror image.
Amazing.
Right down to the skin folds, wrinkles. So the idea is the person can wear their prosthesis out and look normal. And then this is an example of obviously a foot amputation or toe amputation where, same thing, we end up making a silicone prosthesis that just looks really natural.
Wow. Yeah. And I would imagine, I mean, that could be from so many things. You might work with patients that are diabetic, maybe?
Exactly.
Yep.
Circulation problems or traumatic amputation.
Can you explain a little bit, I guess, the basic process of how these devices are actually fabricated? How do you do that?
Right. Well, the process starts off with an evaluation. We often then take impressions of the affected part, and then also impressions of the unaffected hand or foot. And we use the unaffected side as a model for the prosthesis. And then we go through a series of check sockets, in other words, basically pieces of silicone that go on the residuum, the affected part, to make sure the fit is good. And then we work into the actual sculpting and shaping of the prosthesis so that it looks natural and add detail. Ultimately, we make a mold, and then we fabricate the part in silicone. The patient comes back, and then we do our final finishing, tinting, sealing, and delivery. So it's a rather straightforward process.
Yeah, I think that too, there's a lot of benefits for these patients now. What are some of the benefits for them actually getting the prosthetics done?
Well, the obvious benefit again is so that they can put their prosthesis on, go about their business, and not have their difference become the topic of every conversation, having to explain how they lost this body part, how they're going to be treated. They can blend in, so to speak, and feel comfortable. And this actually does become an important thing in people's vocations. You know, if you're an actor and you have a part of your hand amputated, you're wearing a prosthesis, allows you to become an actor and not have that become the focal point. A lot of examples like that.
Greg, always interesting. The stuff is always amazing, and as always, we have too little time to even talk about
Yeah, that
more.
went fast.
We appreciate you coming in.
Yeah,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Yeah,
Thank
we got
you.
more Talk of the Town right after this here on Channel 57. And back on Talk of the Town right now as we go from a little bit of martial arts to the mouth and the health of your mouth. As Thane Anderson is here from Thane Anderson DDS in Stoughton. And thank you for joining us today, Doc.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Tell us a little bit, if you could, about your practice and about yourself.
Well, I'm a general dentist who lives and practices in Stoughton. My practice is located on the east side of Stoughton. It was started in roughly 1973-74 by Dr. Richard Albright. I've been practicing dentistry for 20 years and have been in Stoughton at the current practice for 15 years. I focus on family dentistry and general dentistry. I have a very loyal and dedicated staff. Most of my staff has been with me for 15 plus years.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Albright has recently retired, which allowed me then to add a couple more employees to meet the growing demands of our practice.
Excellent.
Personally, I'm married to my wife of 21 years, Krista, and we have 3 children, 2 boys in high school and a daughter in middle school.
Excellent. Talk about it as far as your practice goes, the types of services that you offer. I know, some dentists offer some offer some others. What are some of the services that you offer?
Well, again, I'm a general dentist that focuses on family dentistry. We have a hygiene department whose primary focus is on prevention and education. And the services I provide are mainly restorative in nature, meaning crowns, bridges, fillings, implant restorations, dentures, both full dentures and removable dentures.
Okay.
Different types of fillings, whether they be tooth color in nature,
Sure.
and some extractions and root canal therapy. Also provide a lot of emergency services when needed.
Okay. I know that, in dentistry, just like any other industry, there are trends and ways that things go. And so what are the current trends in dentistry?
Well, some of the changes versus the trends that I've noticed in 20 years of practice, when I first started, majority of our fillings in our back teeth were what we call amalgam or silver. With changes in the material, now able to meet the demands of our patients, most of my fillings I place now in the back teeth are what we call resins or tooth colored restorations. Also, 20 years ago, if someone was missing a tooth, our main means of replacing that was with a bridge. Mm-hmm. Today, it is with an implant.
Okay.
I probably restore 20 implants for every one bridge that I place. And,
wow.
I think that's the trend we're seeing throughout dentistry.
And the bridges were things you used to be able to pop in and out, right?
A bridge is actually 3 crowns that are connected together using the adjacent teeth where the space is to hold it in. Some of the trends that I'm seeing, much like society, is the age of the computer. We've all went to digital x-rays, our means of communicating with patients, whether it be through Facebook or online websites. We also are, one of the growing trends is being able to capture images digitally and sending those images electronically to laboratories who can then fabricate a crown without an impression.
Okay. I think that also, too, people are always, it seems to me, interested in tooth whitening. What could you tell us about tooth whitening and what should people know? That's
correct. Tooth whitening has become very popular. I would break tooth whitening down into kind of 2 different categories. One is the over-the-counter products versus products that dental professionals offer. First of all, let's explain the types of stain. There's superficial stain, or stain that mainly is on the outside of the tooth, which can be removed with a simple cleaning at your dental office, or sometimes even with a toothpaste. The abrasiveness of the toothpaste can help with that. the tooth whitening products that we concentrate on tend to be working on the deeper stain or the intrinsic stain. And the ones that we offer at our clinic involve a take-home system where we fabricate a custom tray, or a tray much like a mouth guard, where the gel goes inside the tray and you wear it for 30 minutes, 7 to 10 times throughout the process.
And that'll do it. Doc, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. So get with your dentist, get with Dr. Anderson. We'll have more Talk of the Town right after this here on Channel 57. And back on Talk of the Town, and I got to tell you, we've had a lot of terrific guests on this program over the years, and a lot since I've been hosting the show over the last few months. And this one is really interesting to me as well. Now, we have doggy daycares and doggy get-together places, but we haven't had a cat cafe, as we bring in Cheryl Glover from the Cat Cafe. And Cheryl, where did this idea come from to have a cat cafe?
Well, it's a very interesting prospect. My daughter won the Fulbright Scholarship. She's a doctoral student at UW.
Congrats.
And she was in Korea for a year. So my son and I went and visited her. And while we were in Korea, one of the first things she did is she took us to the Cat Cafe. And the Cat Cafe in Seoul, and we fell in love. It was so great. It was so much fun. And we decided to open a cat cafe sitting right there. I wrote my business plan in the cat cafe.
So what exactly is a cat cafe?
Okay, well, people ask us that question all the time.
Right.
They even come in the front door and go, what is this? What do I do? Basically, we have 16 cats. 6 of them are fosters from a local shelter. And the cats are totally free in the store. There's 2,300 square feet, so it's huge. It's a lot of space. And the cats roam around, and we have self-serve coffee, tea, water, juice, that type of stuff. And we have a big play area where you can get down on the floor and you can play with the cats. It's just a wonderful concept. Or you can study. We have free Wi-Fi. So you could sit there and study, or you could sit there and play with the cats, or watch the cats, or let them purr on your lap.
Wow, what an interesting concept. I've never heard of anything like that. I also hear that you do events there. So what kind of events do you have coming up?
Well, we have a lot of events. Like tomorrow, we have yoga and cats. And then a week after that, we have an artist come in for painting cats and can actually, paint cats. We have like cosplay. We have game night. We have Halloween 4 times a year, because Halloween and cats, I mean, really.
Right, yeah, perfect.
What else could you do, right? You have to have Halloween with cats. So we have different events coming in, like on a weekly basis. We have UW Day, for example, and we have just a lot of different things through the summer and through the fall.
Now, I'm guessing, just like any other business, that there's some like government control and restrictions over this. So what type of restrictions are set up from local government?
We have like a huge amount of restrictions. The biggest restriction is we have to be self-serve. We cannot look like a restaurant. We can't grind coffee, and it has to be a total, somebody has to come in and pour it kind of like a 7-Eleven type of thing.
Okay.
And we have to have a cage surrounding our drinks so that the cats cannot get into. That's where they're allowed everywhere but in the human cage where we get our coffee.
Wow.
And lids and things like that, and we have to have throwaway cups and.
Well, because I'm guessing that most people that are going to come to your place have cats at home and love cats. So what would they be afraid of anyways?
Well, it's the government's the government,
right?
Okay, as far as zoning and health department, we have both sides going on. So we can't be a restaurant. If you're a restaurant in Wisconsin, or actually anywhere in the United States, you can't have animals in restaurants.
Sure.
So
okay.
That's the restriction. But actually, a lot of our people miss their cats. They're in apartments who can't have pets, or they're students, right, who miss their pets. They're not at home. Mm-hmm. They're away from home. So.
Okay. Describe, I guess, if you would, like if someone comes into the Cat Cafe, what's a customer experience for them?
The customer experience is we have one entry fee. Okay, and that entry fee covers, their drink, right, and stuff. And they come in and they get their coffee, and the first thing you see is these tables and chairs, mostly for students. They sit down and study and with their computer, and the cats bother them on the computer, which they love.
Right.
Right? They just love it and stuff. Oh, I have cat hair all over. That's okay. And stuff. And then it's really a lot of fun. And then the real fun part is that people get down on the floor. We have play mats, literally, and low couches and stuff, and coffee table type of thing, and comfy chairs filled with cat hair, of course.
Of course.
Right? And people get down with the cats, and they play with the cats, and it's just fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Cheryl, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you next time right here on Channel 57.
Here's our
Bye-bye.
Cat Cafe t-shirt.